Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. Brought to you by SCDHEC. Visit scdhec.gov for testing and vaccination sites. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together, SC and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council presenting Wellness Wednesday every week on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Agape Counseling and Training Services. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, visit Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. The Comet Bus System, offering free rides to get your COVID vaccine. Don't miss your shot. Visit catchthecomet.gov. Javis Financial Services, with over 20 years of experience. Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. Honest, professional, reliable computer sales and service. Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID from SCDHEC. In it together, SC. The South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities. Agape Counseling and Training Services. The Comet Bus System. Javis Financial Services. Computers Unique and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Hey there, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor, and today we are going to find out what's going on with the South Carolina State Fair. That's right, we're snap dab in the middle of summer, but the folks over at the fair are gearing up some great stuff for you. We're going to talk with Nancy Smith in just a short. But don't forget, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, we've got so much great information about COVID, about testing sites, and also about financial resources, jobs, and so many other things that are going on in and around South Carolina. So don't forget to check the bottom of the screen throughout the show. You are watching Coping with Tre Tailor. Please go over to our Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping. And find out when we go live. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit follow, and you'll get notifications as to when we go live, of course, Thursday and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but also at 2 p.m. on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. Go over to the YouTube channel. Also hit the subscribe button. We've got almost 3 years of resources, interviews, information on there for you to learn how to cope with whatever you're coping with, because you know what? We're always coping with something. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Right now, we are going to cope with the South Carolina State Fair. Nancy Smith joins us, General Manager. Nancy, like I said in the opening, it's smack dab in the middle of summer, but y'all are over there working hard, getting ready for October.
We are on it over here at your South Carolina State Fairgrounds. Your fair this year is October the 12th through the 23rd, and that will be here, Tre, before we know it.
You're right. So October 12th through the 23rd, that's the date. And tell us what the theme is. The theme is kind of out of this world.
It is. That's an exciting theme, and I think it fits us well. The theme this year is To the Fair and Beyond.
To the Fair and Beyond. Now, does that mean also that there'll be some spacey things that are going to be tied with the fair?
You're pretty sharp, Tre. You know, we already have a rocket on the ground.
That's right.
Meet your friends at the rocket. But this year, we have some really exciting exhibit that is a Museum of the Moon. It's going to be in the Canty building during the fair time. And as we always like to do, we do a lot of entertaining here. Folks like to ride and they like to eat, but education is a really big part of what we do. Yeah. And this is just, I'll have to admit, we've been trying to get this moon for a little while, and COVID got in the way a little bit. But our moon will be at the fair this year, and it's going to be a very educational opportunity. And I am super excited and hoping that you folks will be able to come out and check it out and, just see the beauty of it and learn a lot while you're looking.
And that is so cool because, of course, people know about the food and the rides and all of the other things. But and we're going to talk about exhibits in just a little bit. But I love how there are so many other opportunities for people to enjoy different things, and as you say, to learn things. Mm-hmm. And I love that To the Fair and Beyond theme is going to really kind of encompass, like you said, space travel and the moon. And who doesn't like that? That's so intriguing.
Yeah, that's really neat. And speaking of that, I think it kind of encompasses everything that your South Carolina State Fair is about, because we just awarded our class of the 2022 Ride of Your Life scholarship recipients.
Yeah.
And just to let everyone know, don't forget, now we've done it this year, but your fair offers $300,000 in scholarships every year to graduating seniors that attend an in-state school or university. So you're thinking, oops, I missed it this year. But if you have a graduating senior in 2023, mark your calendars for February. It's never too early to get that, in your brain. But that's a very big thing that's near and dear to our hearts. We just like everyone to know that.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Nancy, because I was going to mention that you just finished awarding your FAIR scholarship recipients. And again, it is for a South Carolina senior who's going to a South Carolina school, correct?
That's correct. That's right.
How much?
Right, and they're awarded throughout the state of South Carolina. I think, Trey, it's important for our listeners and viewers to know that we're not the Columbia Fair, we're the South Carolina State
Fair,
and they are awarded throughout each congressional district. So it's a good representation of the entire state.
Awesome. And as you say, people can start gearing up for their students to apply in February, and then the winners are announced in when?
About May, normally in May. Yes.
Okay. All right. And just quickly, how much is each scholarship, or does it depend?
$6,000. We offer 50 individual $6,000 scholarships, and those are awarded, over those years. And of course, you have to do your due diligence to get that money every year. But it's just really, I think, one of the most heartwarming things that we have an opportunity to be involved in here at your fair, being able to call those folks and award them. And that's just a way that we're continuing to make a difference in lives and in young people's lives, and hoping to start them here in South Carolina and to keep them here.
That's right. It's so much more, like I said, than just that week or 2 weeks, 10 days of the fair. You guys are over there working throughout the year, not only preparing for the fair, but helping our children thrive and survive. So don't forget, moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and students, get ready to apply for the State Fair scholarships, which will begin accepting applications in February. Now, speaking of accepting applications, it's time now for people to apply for the exhibits. Tell us about that, Nancy.
That's right. That's a great segue into that. Well, that's competitive exhibits. And maybe if we have some new folks that are thinking, what in the world are competitive exhibits? Your South Carolina State Fair is full of them. And we have competitive exhibits from every county in the state that's represented at the fair. If you like to cook, maybe if you like to bake, or if canning is your thing, or woodworking or sewing, maybe you're really good at art or flowers, or maybe you have a chicken or a rabbit. You can have a goat, maybe if you have a pig or a dairy cow or a beef cow or whatever it is that you have, most likely you can enter it in your South Carolina State Fair. And that's what encompasses our competitive exhibits. And it's a big part of what your fair is all about. When the fair began in 1869, it was really more all about agriculture. And, everyone was showing off all the new implements and all the great agriculture that was in South Carolina. And then the home arts were added to that as things came along. And, we're happy to say it's a changing world in which we live, but really a lot of people are, growing their own things now, making their own things now. So it's pretty exciting. And I can tell you, we have some talented people in South Carolina.
That's amazing. And, you make such a good point, Nancy, because it seems like what COVID did was really encourage more people to grow their own fruits and vegetables and rediscover some of their talents and gifts and interests. So this would be a great opportunity for people who have been cultivating those hobbies, so to speak, to now see how good you are, just to put them on display. And what better place than the South Carolina State Fair?
Yeah, and that's really neat. And, there are, like I said, we're really excited that new people are entering into the realm of competitive exhibitors. And I think when we think of the fair, though, lots of us think of tradition. So there are also a lot of folks out there that, this is their thing. They would not miss it. And if it's maybe pickled okra that they're entering, they've got to make sure that each piece of okra is in that jar just right, because guess what? This is not any jar. This is going to their South Carolina State Fair. And it's a sense of pride that they have in that. And it's also a generational thing. I've shared this a lot, but I got my start in the home and craft department at the South Carolina State Fair. And I remember pickled peaches were the thing that this one family was really into. And one year we had the real joy of seeing 3 generations. I took a picture of them. This was years and years ago. They all won with with their pickled peaches, but it was 3 generations of folks. And that's really kind of what the fair is all about. That's kind of like to the fair and beyond.
Yes.
We're offering the monies for the scholarships and things like that, but the traditional part of it and, the intrinsic part of that, I think is important now more than ever to keep that part of our fair alive.
So if people want to enter into the state fair, what do they need to do?
Really, we've made it very easy for everyone. You go online at our website at scstatefair.org. You can do it all online. And I know maybe, if you're a little timid about that, it's pretty easy to do. We've got numbers there for you to call, emails to email for each different superintendent in the area to help you if you're not sure where your kid needs to be or what place your cow is in. We have a lot of help for you there, but you can do it all at scstatefair.org. It has the judging criteria, entering, and it will give you step-by-step directions as to how to do that.
All right. So people can go to scstatefair.org and find out, 1, what exhibits there are, and then 2, how to then register, apply for their exhibit to be judged at the South Carolina State Fair.
That's absolutely right. And you have until September the 1st. Wow. So no, you've got you had a whole free month there to do that. So just be thinking about what you like to do. And we'll be thrilled to see those entries in the fair.
All right. So you've got till September 1st to register to enter your whatever. Like Nancy said, maybe it's woodworking, maybe it's a vegetable, maybe it's a fruit, maybe it's an animal, cow, pig, dog, cat, bird, rabbit, whatever, into the South Carolina State Fair. Go to scstatefair.org. SC State Fair or SC State?
SC State Fair.
SC State Fair. .org and find out, at least if you're not really sure yet, you can at least go on the fair website and find out all the details. But like Nancy said, you've got until September 1st to apply for the South Carolina State Fair if you're interested in entering your whatever for judging. We are being joined by Nancy Smith. She's general manager of the South Carolina State Fair. Nancy, you mentioned something in passing when you were telling the peach pickle story that I thought was interesting. So you started with the state fair, because you've got a story too. You started with the state fair did you mention that you were working with the agriculture?
Well, I started a long time ago. This hair is a little bit gray, but I started in the home and craft department, and was, in the canning and the baked goods area. But I always tease people and say I was taking vacation from a real job at that time to work at the South Carolina State Fair. So that is actually where I got my start, and that's just part of my great fair story. Who would have ever dreamed I'd be where I am now? But eventually that was just a part-time job. And unfortunately, the superintendent in that area passed away, and I became superintendent. And then one year, the general manager then, Gary Goodman, called me up after the fair. I thought I was in big trouble, and maybe I was, but he offered me a full-time job. And so now that's the rest of the rest of the
That's
story.
great. That's great. Yeah. And not only have you kind of made it up through the ranks, you're the first woman that's been general manager of the state fair. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Remarkable, Trey.
That is pretty remarkable. You sitting up there making history over there on Bluff Road.
I say about that, God moves in his mysterious ways, his wonders to perform, and his plans
Girl.
are always best. But it is a great, the fair industry, I think is just, I'm a little bit prejudiced with that, but we are just one of the best industries in the world. We just really help each other in the world of fairs. And when COVID came through, I saw, we were really outstanding in that area. Like I think that COVID year, even though it was a tough year for everyone, it brought out a lot of the best in people in 2020. So that's what your fair is all about. And just know that we do our job as South Carolina State Fair. We go to visit other fairs and we find out what's good at other fairs, and we try to bring it back to your fair so we can see if it will work for you. So some of these competitive exhibits we didn't know about until we went to other fairs and saw them and saw how they were displayed. So we learn a lot by traveling and being a network together.
Right, right. Nancy Smith joins us. She is a GM of the South Carolina State Fair. Hey, if you are just joining us, don't forget to hit the rewind button. We've been talking about what the State Fair theme is this year, to the fair and beyond. Nancy told us about all the great things that are going to be in conjunction with that new theme. And also, if you're interested in applying for or entering your exhibit for judging in the State Fair. So don't forget to hit the rewind button and let us know you are watching the replay. So Nancy, okay, to the fair and beyond, tell us some things that we can look forward to at this year's South Carolina State Fair. I know you guys are over there already working on it.
We're working on it. We're doing our best. We still don't have everything right down pat, but we have talked about one of the big things. I think we already talked about that earlier in the show. The theme is to the fair and beyond, and we're having the Museum of the Moon. Very excited to see that come, and you'll see the Canty building will look a little bit different this year. So you never know what you're going to find when you step inside this year. The circus is not new. It will be coming back, but we have a brand new circus tent.
Oh, wow.
We'll only be the second fair to use this tent, and we'll have some new acts. All of those have not been confirmed yet. We're going to have some neat roving entertainers. We have Mark Dobson coming with us. He's the one-man band. That's always interesting to see him. One person walk around playing everything at one time. Safari Sam and his ostrich. You might just see a strolling ostrich on the ground. Here again, it's the fair. You never know. And
Oscar, the awesome ostrich, yeah.
The awesome ostrich. That's right. I forgot awesome. He is the awesome ostrich. Heritage Village is coming back. That's our area that we've really worked on the last several years, and we are just really proud that we have an area to display all the history, American history there. And we have bowl turner there, a potter, a tinsmith, a blacksmith, and a glass blower. And it's just back to the educational part of it again, a very educational exhibit. Folks just really love to maybe come and turn the wheel on the blacksmith there, or, try to make leather. It's leather works there. You can maybe make a little leather bracelet, see how brooms are made. Just all of those kinds of things. And of course, there's always food. There's great food. There's great rides at the fair. And we've already talked about the competitive exhibits and the Pepsi Play stage. Maybe, Trey, when we talk a little bit later on, I can give you some more information on that. But we've really kind of revamped how we're doing things in there and going to really have some neat things this year. We're going to have gospel night and another gospel praise night. And the Tams are coming, and Elvis may just be in the building. We'll have bluegrass one night along with some other things. So that's part of some of the things that are still being scheduled for us. But we're going to have, a distinct act every night this year at the Pepsi Play stage. And I think that's going to be a new thing for us, the way we're planning that and scheduling them. And I think our patrons will enjoy that.
That's great, because music, as you said, is really another big part of the fair. People come to hear such great quality acts. I'm glad you said that, gospel's coming back, praise and worship. You've got bluegrass, Elvis, who I think's done more traveling since he passed away than he ever did. The Tams, and I know you said you've got some other great surprises coming up. I won't mention what you told me, but we're looking forward to all of the great music announcements coming up at the South Carolina State Fair. Well, it sounds like it is going to be amazing. So don't forget to go to scstatefair.org, not only to find out the different updates. Of course, Nancy has agreed to come back so she can update us some more. And again, don't forget, if you are interested in giving your exhibit, applying for exhibit. Well, how would you say it? Submitting your exhibit for judging. Please go to scstatefair.org just to find out what categories there are. And of course, the deadline is September 1st. Nancy, thank you again so much for joining us today. So exciting to hear everything going on over there at the South Carolina State Fair. And like you said, it's just so important to know that it's so much more than just those 10 days. You guys are, helping kids, giving scholarships, and so much more at the South Carolina State Fair. Oh, you know what? One thing I do want to mention, I know that In It Together and the Diabetes Action Council with DHEC is coming back again this year. I just kind of know that.
You just kind of have an inside scoop with that. Yes, they are. And, actually, we're going to be getting all the details for that, but hugely excited. Last year was the first year. And guess what? They loved it so much, and we loved it so much. They're coming back, and we're excited about we're excited about that. So
yeah,
stand by for more details.
Yes, more details on how to eat and live a healthy lifestyle, even at the State Fair. Nancy, thank you again so much for joining us today and giving us an update on what's happening at the South Carolina State Fair. Again, scstatefair.org for more information. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Trey. Always a pleasure to be with you, and see y'all at the fair.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday lives, but when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall, 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Master Deputy Addie Perez with the Virginia County Sheriff's Department Community Action Team. As a mother, I know it's important to take care of my health for those I care about. Part of doing that is knowing my risk for developing type 2 diabetes. So if I was you, I'll take the opportunity to visit inittogethersc.org and take an online test to find out if you have prediabetes. Again, the website is inittogethersc.org. This message is brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Javis Tax Services, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, Agape Counseling and Training Services, Black Pages, Black Expo, the Comet Bus System, and Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. We also would love for you to be a guest on the show. If you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtreitailor.com. Booking@copingwithtreitailor.com. That information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love to feature you on the show because we're always coping with something. As always, we leave you with a great devotional. I'm reading back again from Jesus Calling. This says, when things seem to be going all wrong, stop and affirm your trust in me. Calmly bring these matters to me and leave them in my capable hands. Leave them there. Then simply do the next thing. Stay in touch with me through thankful, trusting prayers, resting in my sovereign control. Rejoice in me. Exult in the God of your salvation. As you trust in me, I make your feet like the feet of a deer. I enable you to walk, to make progress upon your high places of trouble, suffering, or responsibility. When things are going wrong, remember what is right. Jesus, he can do it for you. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for Coping with Tre Tailor. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Take care, stay well, God bless. And if you're going to be out and about with large crowds, especially inside, don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. I'll see you soon.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. Coping, we can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you. Coping, find peace of mind to survive